Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel we love our makeup and we also really enjoy using the makeup that we already have. And I'm not necessarily here for Instagram fame or editorial looks. I'm just here for real makeup, for real life and real people like us. So today's video is not about using what we have, well, kind of, but I am reviewing a new palette today. I want to remind you, as always, that it is never an emergency to purchase makeup. So if you find yourself intrigued by the palette and you get really excited about it, put it on your wish list, think about it, try and dupe it from your existing collection, all the things. No palette is worth going into debt over or breaking your no buy or low buy or beauty budget. So with all of that said, today I'm going to share with you 4 looks that I created with the new Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I am a huge fan of pastels. I love wearing them. I don't know what it is about pastel shades against my skin and my clothing that I really enjoy, but I've always enjoyed pastels. And when I saw this palette come out, it hit my pastel beating heart right in the feels. I was so excited about this palette. However, like a lot of palettes that I desire, I did try to dupe this palette out first, and I will link that video up in the cards and down in the description box in case you missed it, but we'll talk more about that in the review at the end of the video. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the 4 looks. All right, here we are. I have not been more inspired by a palette for quite some time, so I'm very excited to play with this today. I think we're gonna go like green and purple, or like aqua minty and purple. So I'm gonna start out with the shade Brisk right here on the inner part of my crease. I did lightly set my eye primer, and if you are new, my eye primer is always the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter eye primer. That is really pretty. I love that it shows up actually. For the outer part of the transition crease area, I'm going to go into this light purple color called Feather. And so far I'm going in with more dense brushes because I feel like it's going to work better to sort of press the shades into the skin first and then blend. I'm so excited. My Refer brushes are finally coming today, so hopefully we will have those to play with in the next look or two. For the outer corner of the lid and a little bit up in the crease, I want to go into this shade right here, which is called Bora. And sometimes I like to apply her cream to powder shadows like this with my finger. I just think they work really nice, and you're gonna get your best opacity and fullness of color if you apply it with your finger. And then I'm just gonna take the same brush I used with the light purple, and Bora is definitely one of the deepest shades in this palette, so if this is not going to do it for you, it might be more of a companion palette, or you might want to skip it. For the lid, I'm going to go in with this shade down here called Duet. It's kind of a purple and mint or green duochrome. I love pastel eyeshadow. I don't know if I've ever really talked about that or made that super clear on my channel, but I love pastel eyeshadow. Maybe we will take a little bit of Dainty here and put that in between Duet and the purple on the outer part of the lid, Bora. This one just has a little bit more shimmer to it, so definitely don't want to cover up that pretty duochrome, but just add a little bit more sparkle. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go back into the shade Bora here, and this is the brush that I used with the mint green as well. And then I'm going to go back into the shade Feather down here, and I'm going to use that on the front part of the lash line, and also just kind of to blend out Bora. We're going in with the shade Illusion right here for the inner corner. That is so pretty. All right, 3 brushes, not too shabby. I'm gonna pop off of here, do some liner, mascara, lip, the hair, the whole deal, and then I'll come back and show you the completed first look. All right, we are back. I love, 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 love this look. I finished off the eyes with a new eyeliner. This is the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Berry Goth. I also used the M Cosmetics Pick Me Up mascara. This is the tubing mascara I've been really enjoying. And for lips, I lined and then smudged MAC lip pencil in Soar, and a new gloss to me is the Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jelly in the shade Coconut. I also wanted to mention that on my cheeks today, to go with this very pastel look, I have the Natasha Denona Love Cheek Duo. I'm wearing both the highlight and the blush, and I think it works really beautifully with this pastel look. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the rest of the looks. All right, we're back. This is the completed second look. I really like how this came out. I finished off the eyes with, again, the NYX Epic Wear liner in the shade Berry Goth. For mascara, my Sephora Big by Definition mascara sample. And then for lips, I tried out the M Cosmetics Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner in the shade Kitten. Topped that off with the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips 2 in the shade JK Magic. And for little gloss, I pulled out the oldie but goodie NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Creme Brulee. And also, these are my little M Cosmetics earrings that I picked up with my points, so there you go. It was very fun to break in my Refer brushes today with such a fun palette. So that is the second look. Stay tuned, the third one's coming up right now. Guys, welcome back for a third look with the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I still can't get over how cute this packaging is. I'm gonna start things off in the crease with the shade Brisk, which is our mint green. I definitely intend to do more looks with this palette, but in order to get looks out and my review out in a timely manner, or in a timely fashion, I'm just gonna do 4 looks. So I'm gonna do 2 talk through like this and 2 sped up with music. Oliver is in the house, in the beauty room today. I will say I'm very impressed with how the pastels are showing up on the eyes without a white base. Next, I'm gonna go into the shade Bubble right here and put this on the outer corner and up into the crease a little bit. And this is one of the Cream to Powder shadows, which is by far my favorite formula. Next, I think I want to go into this green right here called Adriatic, and I'm just going to apply this with my finger, sort of overlapping the blue but not covering it, more like the center of the lid. Let's do Mint Frost for the inner part of the lid since we haven't used it yet, and then maybe Limoncello for the inner corner. We'll see. And this Mint Frost is just a little bit lighter, a little bit more sparkly. I'm going to use a flat brush with that same shade and just pull that up in the front here and kind of blend it in with the crease. I don't know, just something I like to do. It's just kind of my style. I've been doing it for a long time. And then I think I will go into Limoncello here for my inner corner. I remember Limoncello being a shade in the Tropic palette, Tropic palette, which was probably one of Natasha Denona's biggest flops. And then I'm just kind of wiping off my blending brush so that I can soften that a little bit. For the lower lash line, I'm going to start things off with the shade Airy. I'm trying to use all of the shades in the palette for my review. So I'm going to go into the shade Airy here and put this across the entire lower lash line, and then we'll go back in with the little bit deeper blue bubble. This would be a beautiful one and done shadow too, for sure. I love me a light pastel blue, just matte eyeshadow or even shimmer eyeshadow all by itself. All right, so now that we have that on, I'm gonna go back into the shade Bubble here with a flat definer brush. That's just a flat squared off brush like this one, and connect this with the outer corner. This is what the eye look is looking like right now. I'm gonna pop off of here, do some mascara and finish off the look, and then I'll come back and show you everything complete. All right, here we are with the completed look. And I finished off the eyes with the Rare Beauty Perfect Strokes mascara. I like it a little bit more as I go. It's not my favorite. And I lined my lips with the Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner from M Cosmetics in the shade Kitten. And gloss is the Fenty Gloss Bomb in the original Fenty Glow shade. So let me know down below, what do you think of look 3? I like it. I don't know that my base makeup complements this the best, but what are you gonna do? So I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Stay tuned. The last quick look is coming at you right now, and then we will get into my review. All right, we're back, and this is the completed look. I went bold with the lip, as you can tell, but I did finish off the eyes with a dark purple eyeliner. This is the NYX Epic Wear pencil in the shade Berry Goth. Did a little wingy ding ding, and I used my sample of the Sephora Big by Definition mascara. I can't believe this thing is still going. And for this bold lip, I pulled out my Maybelline Superstay ink crayon in the shade Accept a Dare. It's such a pretty like berry purpley shade. And then the little bit of the iridescent gloss that you're seeing is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in Moonlight. So the first question I like to answer is what, if anything, stood out about the palette? And for me, it's the different formulas that are offered in here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 cream to powder shades, 1, 2, 3, 4 matte shadows. And then we have this one up here called Illusion, and it is a duochrome. There are a couple of duochromes in this palette. And then you also just have the straight metallic shadows like Limoncello and Adriatic here, which are just as stunning as the rest. So there's definitely different formulas to work with in this palette. And that's part of why I wanted to pick this up, is because it's just so unique compared to palettes of hers in the past, as well as palettes that already reside in my collection or that are in the market today. The second question is, what do you need to know before buying this palette? Well, here it is. This shade Bora right here is as dark as it gets in the palette, and that is it right there. It is not dark by any means. In fact, I would even hesitate to call this a mid-tone shade. So if you're one that really likes to add depth to your outer corner or just in general, this might be a companion palette for you, or it might be a palette that you need to skip because there just is no depth in this palette. The other thing is, I did not use this shade called Starlit. One, I'm not a big fan of red-ish shadows, but also I just forgot, so I wanted to point that out. And then next, would I buy this palette again knowing what I know now if it disappeared, etc.? And I think yes, I would. I really enjoy this, but what I think this palette will do for me and my collection is be a companion palette or a quick like 1 or 2 shadow look palette. I can just see, you know, coming in with one of the matte shades, whether cream or just plain matte, and then putting one of the shimmery shades over the top of the matte shade, or just doing a matte look and calling it a day. So I don't think, you know, that I'm going to create a ton of very intricate looks like the ones that I tried to create in this video. But I do think it's a palette that I am going to get a lot of use out of, especially in the spring. The person I think this palette would be perfect for is the person that's looking to add actual pastels to their collection, someone who wants to play with different textures, because there are so many different textures in here. Just like I talked about with the Patrick Ta palette, this is something that is meant to be fun, in my opinion. I mean, not that it couldn't be somebody's everyday palette for the person, you know, that loves these colors, but to me, this is just a fun palette. It's like a toy. It's something that's meant for fun. It's not necessarily a workhorse. It is not necessarily my everyday palette, but it is super fun to dive into, whether for a few colors or as a companion palette. And then lastly, but not leastly, do I recommend the palette? Yes, I didn't find any duds in here. There's only the one sort of corally red shade right here that I probably won't get a ton of use out of, but I do think I could get some use out of it. Everything performed beautifully. It performed as I expected that it would, given my experience with her eyeshadows, and I really do recommend it. If it's within your budget, if you're not on a no-buy or what have you, then I do recommend it, and I do think it's worth picking up. I mean, 10 out of 10 on the packaging. I just think this is beautiful. And it's probably my favorite packaging, even over the Triochrome palette. It's just so cute and springy, and you know, that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. So let me know down below which look was your favorite. I actually think this one might be my favorite, surprisingly, and I don't usually do a ton of pink on my eyes, but this one turned out really pretty. I hope if you enjoyed the video that you will give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. That way we can see each other in my next video, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I'll see you in my next video very soon.